5 circles to the opposite direction. When you're done with those 5 circles, come to neutral. And then bring your right foot down on the floor. Your right knee is bent. Right foot flat on the floor, your right knee is bent. Okay, I'm sorry, I mixed it up. So, left foot on the floor, right knee is bent into your chest. Now bring your right knee to be above your right hip. So bringing the knee away from your face, so it's right above your hip. Now flex the right foot and lift the right heel to be in line with your right knee. Open your arms out to the sides at about 45 degrees and open your palms to face up. Now straighten your right leg. Bring the heel down onto the floor, tap the floor, bend the right knee, and then bring the right calf to be parallel to the floor. So we're going to move in this direction. It's like you're pedaling. When you're pedaling, I want you to straighten the leg first, then bring the heel down, tap the floor, and bend the right knee towards your chest, and then return to the first position where your calf is parallel to the floor before you start straightening the leg again and continuing this movement. Good. Two more. Beautiful. Now bend both knees, feet flat on the floor. We're going to add, so there's options. Either you'll do the same exact movement one more time, or we're going to add another leg. With another leg, with the left leg, we're going to bring the left leg so it's so the knee is in line with the hip and the heel is in line with the knee. So let's go ahead and lift both legs so we can see what that feels like. Both knees are above the hips. Heels are in line with your knees. So you should feel it in your abs. You should feel it more in your lower abs than your upper abs. Do you feel that? Good. Flex both feet. Flex both feet. Nice. Good. Keep your feet flexed. So now this is the harder option. You can always bring that foot down. Straighten the right leg. Tap the heel down to the floor and bring it to your chest. And again, it's the same exact movement. Good. And if this is too much, you can always bring that left foot down. Pay attention if your left heel is still in line with your left knee. If your left knee is still on top of the left hip. There's a lot of core work here. Just one more. After the last one, hug both knees into your chest and just make few circles to one direction and few circles to another direction. Moving to the other side, bring your right foot on the floor. Now bring the left knee to be above your left hip, left heel in line with your left knee. Flex the left foot. Now straightening the left leg, bringing the heel down, tap the floor, bend the knee towards your chest, and again straighten and tap the floor and continue this movement. See how slow you can move. See what happens when you start moving a little bit slower. Maybe you start feeling it in different parts of your body. Or maybe you can start feeling how different parts of your body engage and all work together, rather than from the, I don't know the word in English. movement that happens from just moving from inertia. Is that the word? I don't know. I tend to talk to myself sometimes. I'm not correct. 2 more. After your second round, bring both feet on the floor, knees bent. And then bring both knees above your hips. Lift both heels to be in line with your knees. Flex the feet. Stay here for a few breaths just to feel how your core starts engaging a little bit more. Option here to stay here or bring the right foot down on the floor, starting the movement again. Straightening the left leg, tap the heel down onto the floor, and bend the knee. We'll do 6 rounds. Move at your own pace. Don't forget to breathe. Soften your face. Soften your neck. After your 6 rounds, bend both knees into your chest. Make 3 circles to one direction and 3 circles to the opposite direction. Take your time. We will all meet here. If you're done with your circles, you can just move from side to side or continue with the circles, giving yourself a little back massage. Good. And now roll onto your left side and slowly come to all fours on your mat. When you're on all fours on your mat, bring the blocks so the blocks are somewhere in the front of the mat so you can easily grab them, one on either side of the mat. Here on all fours, if you need to pad your mat, you can always fold the mat just like this under your knees, or you can go ahead and grab an extra mat. We have many. Hands and knees, shoulders above the wrists, knees below your hips. Now you want your wrists to be at least as wide as their shoulders or a little bit wider. A little bit wider gives a little bit more space for your chest. It feels nice. And we'll start a simple cat and cow movement. On an inhale, dropping the belly, reaching your chest forward, looking up. And on an exhale, drawing the belly in, chest in, look in between your legs. Continue this movement. On an inhale, dropping the belly, dropping your heart. Then your heart moves forward, looking up. And on an exhale, belly in, heart in, shoulder blades up, look in between your legs. Continue with the movement. Take a note if your fingers are spread wide. If they're not, spread your fingers super wide. Notice if all the fingers are pressing down. Notice if your pointer finger and the thumb knuckle is pressing down towards the ground or wants to lift up. If it wants to lift up, try to press it down a little bit more. Trying to keep your arms straight. When your arms are straight, I want you to feel softness in the elbows. So if you tend to lock the elbows out, it kind of looks when your eyes of the elbows start pointing forwards and your elbow kind of drops in, just have a slight bend in the elbows. One more full round here. Your round will end with your exhale. Exhaling, bringing the belly in, look in between your legs, and on an inhale, come back to neutral tabletop. Press the palms on the floor, pull your belly in as if you were pressing your belly and your chest away from the floor. Look in front of your mat. On an inhale, reach your right arm up, open your chest towards the right, And on an exhale, thread it under the left. On an inhale, open again, reaching your right arm up. And on an exhale, thread. Continue this movement. Open the arm only as far as it feels good for your shoulder. It can be a very small opening. If you feel a lot of tension in the front of the right shoulder, maybe try to open a little bit less. Less is always more in any kind of movement, really. And one more. Next time you thread the arm under, stay there. Maybe bring the right side of your head down. Right palm is facing up. Take 2 breaths here. Now press into the left hand, returning back to tabletop. Now do exactly the same movement on the left side, but first press your palms down, your belly, your core moves up towards the back of your spine. On an inhale, reach your left arm up, and on an exhale, thread it under the right. Inhaling up, and exhale, thread it under. Notice the difference that you feel from side to side. Maybe you don't feel the difference. I always just feel such a big difference from side to side, from the shoulders. Oh, chale. Chale. Continue 3 more rounds. After your 3rd round, stay low on the, now your left arm is thread under the right. Stay for a few breaths there. Good. Press into your right hand. Come back to tabletop. Now tuck the toes under. Press the heels back. When you press the heels back, feel how your inner thighs engage and your thighs engage. Keep pressing through the heels back. Keep your hips where they are. Walk your hands forward, as wide or a little bit wider than the mat. And then maybe drop your forehead down onto the floor. If your forehead doesn't reach the floor, you can either keep your head lifted or use the block and bring your forehead on the block. Press through the backs of your heels. Good. Few more breaths here in puppy dog. Start pressing through your palms. Walk your palms towards your head. Then press through the palms, returning to tabletop. Good. Straighten your right leg. Tuck the right toes under. Now pressing through the right heel, just start swaying back and forward. Gently stretching out the right calf. And you can pause. You can do these little pumps. It feels really, really nice to stretch out the calf. When you do so, just notice what your belly is doing, what your core is doing. Is it just hanging out and doing nothing? If that's the case, just engage a little bit through the core. Just pulling the belly slightly in, so you're supporting the back, supporting your trunk. Good. Now come back to tabletop with the right leg straight. Now lift the right leg up from the floor and bend the right knee. Your right thigh is parallel to the floor. Now we'll start the movement lifting the right thigh up, then open the right knee to the right, and then cross it over towards the left elbow. And again, strain the right leg back, then bend the knee, open it up, and cross towards the left elbow. Does this make